Hi everyone, this is HM&S video number 53 and you are most welcome for it. Last video we saw how we can use Xlookup function to do exact match lookup in Excel. Today we want to see how we can use the same Xlookup function to do approximate match lookup in Excel. We shall also see how we can do a function argument array operation in Excel using Xlookup function. Let's switch on to Excel and we dive deeper into how to use Xlookup for approximate match lookup. I have this table here. It has the sales agent and the corresponding revenue generated by those agents. Now what we want to do here, we want to come to this commission column and then using these revenues as our lookup values, we want to come to the lookup table, pick the commission from here and then we assign it to these corresponding agents basing on the revenue they generated. Now last video we did it here using Vlookup as you can see from here and we got these results here. So let's see how we can do it also using Xlookup function. So I'm going to click on this cell and do equals to Xlookup. When I see it highlighted in blue, I'm going to hit tab to select it. Xlookup function has all these arguments here as we saw last video. The first argument here is the lookup value. Now for our lookup value, you're looking up the revenue. So I'm going to click on the first revenue here. So I'm going to click on this one here, comma. Now since we are looking up revenue, our lookup array is going to be this revenue from the lookup table. So I'm going to highlight this revenue here from the lookup table. Now since I'm going to copy my formula down, I'm going to lock it using the F4 key. That's because when we copy our formula down, we want the lookup array to remain the same. We don't want it to move down as we copy our formula down. So I'm going to type comma to go to the returned array. Now the returned array is what we want to go and pick and we return it to this cell here, or what we want to go and pick and we bring it to this cell here, which is actually our commission. So I'm going to highlight this commission because we want to pick the commission and we bring it to this cell here. So I'm going to highlight commission like this. I'm also going to hit F4 to lock that commission because I don't want it to move as I copy my formula down. Now Xlookup does exact match lookup by default. So since we are doing approximate match lookup here, we need to keep moving. So when I type comma, it will go to if not found argument. Now this if not found argument, you put it if you want the Xlookup function to return for you something in case it did not find the lookup value among the lookup array. But I'm not going to put anything on the if not found argument. So I'm going to type comma to go to the next argument, which is the match mode. Now for the match mode, this is where you select whether you want to do exact match lookup or approximate match lookup. Now last video we were selecting this first one here. That's because we were doing exact match lookup. Now this second one and the third one here, which is -1 for exact match or next smaller item, and then 1 for exact match or next larger item. Those two are the ones used for approximate match lookup. Now if your lookup array is sorted in ascending order, that is from smallest to largest, then you use this second option here when you're doing approximate match lookup. That is -1 for exact match or next smaller item. And if your lookup array is sorted in descending order, that is from largest to smallest, then you use this third option here, 1 which is for exact match or next larger item. Now since our lookup array is sorted in ascending order, now this one is covering it up, but we shall see that it's sorted in ascending order. We're going to select this second option here for approximate match lookup. So I'm going to up arrow to select -1, which is exact match or next smaller item. Then I'm going to hit tab to select it, close my bracket. Now before I hit enter, I want you to prove that our lookup value is actually sorted in ascending order. That is from 0 to the biggest one, which is $3,000. So when I control enter and then I copy my formula down, you can see we're getting the same result as the one we got using Vlookup function. That means it's actually working very well. Now Xlookup function is actually one of the functions that's only found in Office 365. That means it can actually do function argument array operation without using Control Shift and Enter. Now before I show you how to do that, let's first find out something. Here, when I double click on the lookup value, we were giving the Xlookup function only one value. We gave it this first value here, escape, and as we copy our formula down, you can see the lookup value is also moving down to the next one. Double click, next one, up to the last one here, our lookup value is this one here. So that means we are doing one at a time. We just copied our formula down. Escape. Now let's click on this cell and we see how we can do the function argument array operation using Xlookup function. So I'm going to do equals to Xlookup. When I see it highlighted in blue, I'm going to hit tab to select it. Now this time around, instead of giving it only one lookup value, then we copy our formula down, I'm going to give it all the lookup values like this. I'm going to highlight all of them like this. Now when you're doing function argument array operation, there's actually no need of locking your formula. So I'm going to just leave it like that. So when I type comma to go to the lookup array, now in order for us to understand this very well, let me first move the screen tip a little bit above here. So I'm going to go to the screen tip. When I see my cursor changes to a move cursor, which is this cursor here, I'm going to click and then drag it up like this. It will move for me the screen tip on top like this. Now we are on the lookup array. Now since we are looking up the revenues, our lookup array is going to be the revenue. Now the formula is also covering up the field name, but we have revenue here. So these are the revenues. So since we are looking up revenue from here, our lookup array is going to be this revenue here. I'm going to highlight this revenue here, which is sorted in ascending order. I'm also not going to lock it since we are doing function argument array operation here. And then type comma to go to the returned array. Our returned array is going to be commission since we want to pick the commission and we bring it here. So I'm going to highlight commission like this. Now type comma to go to the if not found argument. I'm not going to put anything there. Comma to go to the match mode. So we are doing approximate match lookup and our lookup array is actually sorted in ascending order. That means we are using this second option here. Down arrow, that is -1, which is for exact match or next smaller item. Tap to select it and it will put for me -1 there. So I'm going to close my bracket. Now watch what will happen when I hit enter. So enter. You can see it automatically spelled my result down, and since this is actually an array operation, the formula only lives on the cell where I've constructed my formula, which is this cell here. That's why when I click on it and then I look on the formula bar, I can see my formula is there, but on this other cell where the result just spelled, when I click on any of them, the formula is actually grayed out. That means the formula doesn't live there. Now before we do our last example, I want to show you how the approximate match lookup works. Like for example, this second lookup value here, which is $2,345, the Xlookup function will put that number on its memory. Then it will go through this list here. When it finds the first value bigger than that number, which is this one here, it will jump back one step, then pick the commission, and then it bring it here. That's why we have $15 here. When it gets exact number like $2,000 here, it will just put that number on its memory, come to this lookup table, go through this list. When it finds exactly $2,000, it will pick the commission and bring it here. Now when you give it a lookup value which is bigger than all your values on the lookup array, it will just pick the last commission and it will bring it here. So that's actually how approximate match lookup works when you have sorted your lookup array in ascending order. So let's scroll down and we see how we can also do approximate match lookup when our lookup array is sorted in descending order. We have the same table here, but this time around on our lookup table, our lookup array is actually sorted in descending order. That's why we can see revenue is actually sorted in descending order. That's from largest to smallest. So let's see how we can also do approximate match lookup in this situation. So I'm going to do equals to Xlookup. When I see it highlighted in blue, I'm going to hit tab to select it. The lookup value is going to be our revenue. So I'm going to click on the first revenue, which is this one here. And then comma. Let me first move the screen tip on top here. So I'm going to go to it. When I see my move cursor, click and drag it above here. Now when it comes to the lookup array, our lookup array is going to be this revenue since we are looking up the revenue. So I'm going to highlight this revenue here. Since I'm going to copy my formula down, I'm going to lock it using the F4 key. And then comma to go to the return array. The return array is going to be our commission since we want to pick the commission. And then we bring it here. So I'm going to highlight commission like this. And then lock it using the F4 key since I'm going to copy my formula down. And then comma to go to the if not found argument. I'm not going to put anything there. So I'm going to type comma to go to the match mode. Now for the match mode, since our lookup array is actually sorted in descending order, we are using this third option here. So down arrow to select one, which is exact match or next larger item. So you need to be very careful. When your lookup array is actually sorted in descending order, you must select exact match or next larger item when you are doing approximate match lookup. So since it's highlighted in blue, I'm going to select it using tab, and it will put for me one there. Now we have this last argument here. When I type comma, last video we talked a lot about the search mode, but we are searching first to last, which is the default. That's why we have been leaving it out. If you want to learn more about the search mode, watch our previous video. Now since we need the default, which is search first to last, I'm going to backspace, and then I'm going to close my bracket. Now when I control enter, and then I copy my formula down, you can see it's actually working very well. Now let me also tell you how the approximate match lookup works when your lookup array is sorted in descending order. Like for example, this first one here, which is $400, that one is actually our lookup value. So the Xlookup function will put that number on its memory. Then it will go through this list here. When it finds the first value smaller than that value, which is this one here, it will jump back to the next larger item, which is this, move to the column you want, which is the commission, pick the commission, and it will bring it here. Now if you give it a value which is smaller than all the values on your lookup array, like for example $345, the Xlookup function will actually give you the last value, which is this last commission here. And if you give it a value which is bigger than all the values on your lookup array, like for example $5,000 is actually bigger than all these values here, the Xlookup function will actually return for you an NA error. Yeah, that is it for this particular video here. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe, and if you found this video interesting, give it a like, and then you share it with your friends. This is a playlist that's serving all the videos about lookup functions that we have talked about. You can click on it, then you go and watch it. Until next video, HM&S video number 54, then we meet again. Thank you.